I'm at the first level of my indie horror game Betty Bunni. In the last devlogs I showed so far the progress on the Betty Bunni character model and a short glimpse at the level blockout. I approached those levels designed based on my game story script. The game's first third will consist of two main environments: the apartment of the main character and its sister and mom, and a toy store that's going out of business with the name Toys for Us. The game will also circle back to those environments in the end, so I really have to take them seriously. In my personal opinion, a returning environment or a main hub world grounds a game and brings a bounding element to the relationship between player and game, like the Batcave for Batman. It also allows me to reuse basically a whole level and get the maximum usage out of my assets, textures and environments. It's the bread and butter of game development. Reusing assets and stuff is the most time-saving thing ever, and it keeps your creative juices flowing and stuff. Well, so I'm at the blockout level of the apartment and the toy store by using the editing tool of Unreal Engine. So simple geometry, and you can slightly modify it and stuff. For blocking out, I basically work my way down from big to small. So ground, walls, rooms, and then I attack the interior and furniture block out and so on. It's also possible, if you already have a clear vision for your assets, to create a blockout level kit. For that, you basically make in Blender the essential asset collection for your environment in the simplest form possible. This can save a lot of time. But in my case, I had no clue how big I wanted everything to be and what exactly I wanted inside the environment. So I made everything in engine for the blockout, and I played from time to time through the environment, through the levels, to figure out where and how big I wanted the interior and the walls to be. The only assets I was to 100% sure of from the start were the ones I mentioned in my story script. So it's very important to work with, prepare and with the script and stuff, so prep work actually makes your dream work. And after having a pretty solid blockout level in Unreal, I jumped into Blender and 3D modeled for days my environment assets for the Toys for Us. Because the store was way more modular and with repeating elements, and the apartment will be way more unique, I started with the store, and maybe I'm able to reuse stuff from the store later for the apartment. That would be nice. On this point, I really want to address the weird hate for asset flips. It's very often an argument by gaming YouTubers and streamers that a game is bad or a scam if it uses bought assets from the Unreal Unity marketplace. It's more than just an industry standard for movies and games to reuse assets or buy assets. It makes no sense production-wise to waste time, for example, on creating individual different leaves and grass and stuff if there are already good options out there. It also keeps the 3D modeling industry alive. But I totally have to agree that an overuse and having no originality can be kind of meh. As always, balance is key. Anyway, this doesn't apply to my case because I made everything from scratch and it's time consuming AF. For the store, I made so far 4 asset collections, a parking lot, the Toys for Us building, a modular store shelf, and Event asset collection, which will be released one by one on my Patreon in the next few days and so on. The PSX parking lot is already available as a Patreon exclusive download, and the others will follow soon, so consider becoming a Patreon. Also unique about those asset collections is that I used for each collection one texture or a trim sheet. Trim sheets reduce the time for setting up. assets, file sizes, the amount of files, and it makes everything a bit more, you know, well organized and put together for a project, for a game project. It's an important power move if you have to deal with game environments especially. So I switched the blockout geometry with my assets, with the assets I made, arranged some little bits that will be important later for riddles in the game, and from time to time I played through it to test the environment. I still want to add and make more assets, like of course toys for the shelves and interactive other details and stuff, but I really reached a point I should stop and head to the apartment level, so I will be able to actually make something playable very soon. Because it's very likely that I have to change something in the levels anyway later due to, you know, riddles, dialogue or characters. And yeah, and at the end I just set up my light, my directional light, and one sky sphere for the outside, and for the interior, for the store, static point lights that I baked into the assets, and a post-process volume that cranks up the brightness and exposure if you enter the store, you know, like in a real store. Well, and that was it basically for my environment. Well, and in the first level I really figured out for myself, and I need to be really stricter with myself time-wise, because the game will so or so be in the $5 space depending on the total playtime, so wasting time doesn't pay off at all. And well, next up for me will be the apartment level and its assets, and after that the first playable chunks and interactive, you know, features and stuff. And well, I hope you got something out of this video, and if you want to be up to date with the Betty Bunni devlog and you're interested in, you know, Blender and Unreal Engine and game development content, please consider subscribing. My big goal for this year is to reach 10,000 subscribers, and it would be awesome if you could help me with this. And well, and now watch one of those videos.